Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome to the 13 Reasons Why After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. Tonight, we're going to be breaking down the first two episodes of Season 2, Episode 1, titled The First Polaroid, which focuses on Tyler's testimony, and Episode 2, titled Two Girls Kissing, which focuses on Courtney's testimony. We have a lot to cover, like what has Alex been up to? Is he okay? What about Jessica? Is Clay still there? We sure hope so. We have so much to talk about, and we can't wait to discuss it with you. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers, again. Thank you so much for tuning in to our after show for 13 Reasons Why. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. You might recognize me from last season, filling in a couple times. We have an all-new panel here. Super excited. Introduce yourselves.
Hey, how's it going, my beautiful people? Danny Royce here.
And I'm Takira Shabrae.
I'm Kami Lauture, but you can call me Kami.
And Kami is in the live chat, so if you guys are here live and want to chat with us, please do so. Before we get into these first two episodes, I want to kind of explain to you guys a new format that we're going to be doing for these after shows that's just a tiny bit different for the 13 Reasons Why after shows. We're still going to be covering 2 episodes per after show, and they're going to be in sequential order, but we're going to be mostly talking about, the testimonies of each specific character, what happened after the testimonies, and we've all watched the entirety of the second season, as we think a lot of you have too. So if you have, then you can stick around for the whole after show, but if you haven't, we're going to give you a spoiler alert, which means stop listening if you don't want to know what happens, and then come back when you're finished. And we'll be talking about things that have to do with this episode, but also future storylines that they tie into.
Right.
Just want you guys to know.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I said it, so nobody can get mad at me for not saying it.
No commenting.
So overall, guys, without getting into spoilers now, did season 2 meet your expectations for what you were hopefully excited about for 13 Reasons?
I would say yes. I was a little worried just because 1 is really hard to top, but I think the transition and the way that they did it, and to be honest, just the explicitity, it's still hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, honestly, I think it was definitely, I don't want to say better than the first season. I mean, they're both great on their own levels, but it really did go beyond my expectations, honestly. Yeah. I thought it was going to go certain ways because I was, looking forward to season 2 for so long. But the way they did it was awesome.
How about you, Kami?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I thought this season, again, like to your point, I didn't think that it was, I don't want to say any better, but this season definitely touched even newer topics.
Mm-hmm.
I left feeling like there's so much that I want to talk about with people,
Right.
and it was really eye-opening this season.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because that's why we're here too. We have after shows for just about every show, but for this specific after show, I want it to be a place where people can talk about how this show made them feel, because it makes people feel a lot of feelings.
Right.
I think in general, second seasons of shows are kind of hard. They're never as good as the first season.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely enjoyed it. I found some continuity errors that bothered me a little bit with the storylines
Right.
from 1 and 2. With that being said, though, I love this show so much. I loved the first season that I really didn't care what it was, because I was excited to see my friends again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And kind of to see how they were doing. But with that being said, I still think it was really great.
Yeah.
Episode number 1 focuses on Tyler and his testimony. Definitely interesting that they had him as the first testimony. I mean, we left him thinking he was possibly going to shoot up the school. Never happened. And the things that he said about Hannah were pretty interesting, because we're getting new sides of Hannah. And what did you guys think about this new information he provided regarding Hannah, that she was sexting somebody? That she, they had a kind of nice relationship when they did a photo shoot together. Were you guys surprised by this information? Did it bother you or not seem consistent?
It didn't bother me. What it did, I think what it was is that in our and at least in my mind, I had this idea of Hannah, and then we see this other side to her. I was just like, okay, wow, she's just like us. She's a complex human being. She has layers. And the story or Tyler's testimony, I thought was so beautiful because it's like, wow, they had this relationship at the beginning that I had no idea about because in season 1, I feel like we just saw the negative side of it, and we saw him stalking her.
Yeah, we hated him.
Yeah, I did too.
Tyler.
I did too. And then seeing this testimony, I was like, wow, you know, he was a sweet person at first, you know?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was nice to see. I loved it.
Yeah, the testimony, I mean, it surprised me a little bit, just their previous relationship. But, you know, Tyler, he was a creep. He was a little weird, you know, but he's just a human being looking for a place to fit in just like everyone else.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was interesting, his testimony for sure.
Yeah, I kind of, I liked that side that he brought, but to be honest, I didn't like that, how Hannah ended up looking at the end of it. He kind of, it's like his main purpose of testifying, I feel like, was to make her look like she was a bad girl. Promiscuous. That she was, I didn't like that part of it because I feel like that was very intentional, and I didn't really like that part of it. So
that's a good point. I mean, because it's kind of hard for us to forget who he was last season.
Right.
He did, you know, I would always kind of choose this person was the worst. No, this person was the worst. But I think at the end of the day, when I tallied it all up, it was Tyler was maybe second to worst, you know, behind someone else, but he wasn't good, and he has some really scary and unstable habits. But he gets the first threat of the season, which is in the dark room. Always love creepy scenes in dark rooms.
right. Right.
And they write on his pictures in, you know, red paint, trying to look like blood. And what does it say? It says, you ain't seen shit. That's that's
Right.
what it was. Real funny one.
It's like it's very ironic telling the photographer, the guy in charge of your book that sees everything in the school, you ain't seen shit. But
Right.
What do you guys think about this new narrative of these weird, very juvenile, in my opinion? I mean, they are in high school, but these kinds of threats.
I mean, just like you said, they're in high school. We have to remember that. Like, we have to remember that these, I know that some of these actors are adults portraying young kids, but these are kids. So, like, we have to put ourselves in place of, but I definitely don't think that they should go any less, you know, ignored. But, I don't know. That was kind of creepy. The eyes stretched out and stuff. I mean, I could be an adult. If I walk into that, I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
I need to watch my back.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I mean they are high school kids, but you know, people are capable of doing some of the most evil things. So I would definitely, you know, heed the warning. But you know, it was childish. You know, it was just a lot of childish things going on.
Yeah, and we continue to get these notes, but before we get to that, we have another really, really great show here that we would love to talk to you about.
Yeah, exactly. And if you all want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of life, for those who do, have we got a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition, is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let Maria be the big sister you've always wanted. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it's us here at 13 Reasons Why After Show that sent you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out.
Yeah, she talks about a lot of really interesting things and, you know, mental health.
It's actually really good, yeah.
Yeah, mental health as well. So you guys should definitely tune into that. Someone that could definitely use Maria's help would be Clay. Going through, man, a really...
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Man.
Poor guy. So first of all, okay, so I knew the semicolon tattoo, it sounded familiar, but I didn't remember. So I remember now, and it is... Basically, is anyone familiar with the Okay, explain it. Can you explain it? Yeah, just the meaning. It's for suicide,
yeah,
right?
Suicide and depression.
Yeah.
Suicide, depression. My cousin, that had the semicolon. But I always thought that it was this kind of like, oh, life starts and stops, and it's this beautiful thing. But she had a semicolon tattoo, and she would tell people that that asked. It depends on where she was. She would say, oh, it just means the end of something and the beautiful start to another, which it does mean that in a sense, but it's also kind of like still struggling and looking for that new start, and a reminder for herself to look for the good in the new start in others. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very symbolic how
Interesting way to
Clay's
look
turned
at it.
into a comma, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's not.
Right.
He's not there yet. What do you guys feel about him and Skye's relationship? Where they are right now? Kami, do you have any thoughts?
I was shocked. I had no idea they were going to end up together. I know in season 1 we saw her sort of flirting with him in the coffee shop, and I had no idea that they would end up together. However, I'm hurting for her. Right? I'm hurting because Clay is clearly like he's still dealing, working through things, and it's not fair for her. So it's a tricky relationship, but I can see he loves her.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so young, does he?
Right. I mean, he feels for her a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just that, as well as Clay just seems. We've all been in that situation where we kind of end up with the same person, so to speak, not the same person, but type of
Same
person, because we, whatever our energy, gets.
I don't know what kind of energy poor
attracts.
Clay is attracting.
But Clay, Clay's a helper. He likes to be there. He likes to be someone's wing that they can lean on. And for Skye, she's adorable. She's adorable, but her insecurities and all that, plays a large role in the demise of the relationship, as well as Clay not willing to move on yet because he's not ready. He hasn't grieved enough yet. So it's just hard, the whole relationship.
Yeah, I know I'm supposed to like Skye, and I don't really have a reason not to, except I just don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't you like her?
Why?
It's just a feeling I get. She annoys me, and I think I'm somehow delusional, like Clay is, pulling for him and Hannah. And it's, for me, I'm almost like, it's too soon.
Right, it is.
Definitely.
It's way too soon.
Even for myself as a viewer, I don't want to see him with someone else. This is still her show kind of thing.
And not just someone else that hurts them. So
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Cutting themselves and have that like a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Like he should have, I mean, if it were me and I had that moment with some, I would kind of like step back and say, okay, it's not a coincidence.
It's not,
I want to
that's
help
what
you
I'm
from
saying.
afar.
Right.
That's tough.
Is it her fault though? If I say it's both of them take responsibility, right? Because Clay shouldn't get into a relationship knowing that he's still grieving and also has not let go of Hannah.
Exactly.
Because this is now affecting the relationship, and Skye shouldn't go into a relationship also knowing that this guy is clearly not over.
Of course.
His true love.
I mean, granted, he did say that he hadn't thought about it after months.
I mean,
He
Clay's in
started,
denial.
Yeah.
He's in
he
denial all
started to
the
see
time.
her.
Okay, two things. First is that I think he's trying to save somebody because he didn't save Hannah.
Exactly.
So in a way, that is what Skye's a presence gives us and gives him. Secondly, he starts seeing Hannah. I almost said Santa.
He starts seeing Santa.
He starts seeing Santa. He starts seeing Hannah, and it's as though it's her ghost. I mean, I'm a big fan of ghost shows, supernatural shows. I'm all about it, but this isn't that kind of show, or is it?
Too
Right.
real.
I'm a little confused as to what is happening here. What are your guys' thoughts?
When I first saw it, I was like, wait, hold on. What direction are we going here? I believe, honestly, it's just in his head. Like, it's all in his head. He's seeing her. She's speaking to him. But I don't think there's an actual ghost that's present. I just believe it's kind of like his perspective on things. He's seeing things through Anna.
PTSD.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure. I mean, I definitely think that, and I don't think I'm the only one that's recognized that Clay also has mental health issues for his own. It's not just that he's gone through something so traumatic which alone is something so traumatic.
Right.
I definitely think that this show does a really good job of highlighting that there are different ways of struggling with mental health.
Yes.
And if someone didn't notice that and just thinks that it's only about suicide, I think that they definitely need to take a second look at each character, especially Clay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really, really good point.
That's a good point, for sure.
Someone that has also suffered from mental health issues is Alex. We see him shoot himself in the head. Kind of. I mean, we don't not really see it, but that's what we were told to believe, which is what he did. And it somehow went through his skull and hit the wall behind him. I'm sure they did their research, and that's possible.
Yeah.
I've never heard of
yeah.
something like that happen. Well, actually,
It
no,
can,
I have actually heard of it just going straight through, but I mean, that is,
It's like 1 in a million. It's awesome. Chances are crazy.
yeah. And he forgets everything that's happened for the past month.
Yeah.
And, he's become close again with different people now that he doesn't have his memory, which is interesting. He's close with Tyler, who has come to visit him and give him junk food. And
Right.
Tyler, just polluting kids one day at a time. And, Jessica, they become close too
That's
because they've both gone through these traumatic experiences that are separate but are, happening at the same time. What did you guys think about Jessica and Alex's relationship? Because they used to date and it's kind of weird.
I mean, I loved it. I think that it was definitely a sign that it was true. The fact that they were friends before his accident and they're friends after, they still have that connection. It's kind of like, oh, okay, there is some genuine feeling there. I like it. I like that they're each other's strength and confidant.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel the same with Alex and Tyler in a sense. I feel like their bond. I was questioning, how did they become friends? But I think looking at the story, everyone's dealing with their own pain, and it could just be a way that they're also bonding too, because they are all going through. I don't want to say the same thing, but they've had horrible things happen to each one. So I think it's also just a way of knowing, I recognize you, I recognize your pain, and they're bonding in that way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree.
Absolutely.
Took the words out of my mouth.
I want to make sure I give a shout out to Mr. Porter, who had just a very important scene this episode, which was him basically throwing Bryce up against the wall. And, I'm sorry, I love Mr. Porter.
I love Mr.
Oh,
Everybody
he's my
makes mistakes, and teachers and counselors are underpaid, and they probably don't have all of the qualifications that they should have to be there, and it's hard to make a living doing it. And I'm not saying it's not his fault if he didn't know what he was doing. Obviously it was, and he's taking full responsibility for it,
Right.
and he's really trying to clean up the school.
Right.
So I love that.
have to say, before watching the entire seaon, even before then, he is one of my favorite characters in the season, if not, maybe top 2. He is one of my favorites. I love that he it's just so real. You get a second chance, you realize that, hey, even though I'm reading this book, even though I'm doing what the book says to do, you kind of have to have a heart and a human thought in between the decisions that you make. And like you said, he gets this, everyone makes mistakes, and it's a man struggling to make it right.
Right.
Yeah.
I love his character and the emotion in his character.
Yeah, I love his character as well. And, he's one of the only characters in here that, he saw what he did wrong, and he admits his faults, and he's going 100%. He's going hard to fix it and do whatever he can to make sure this doesn't happen to someone else. And as you mentioned, some of the counselors, they are underpaid, undertrained. I remember when I was in high school, I was a peer helper, and I was pretty much students counseling others, and we were trained, and because oftentimes kids, they don't want to go to an adult. They don't feel comfortable going to an adult, so they would go to, their peers. And, it would just be faced with a lot of different things that come your way, and you just have to be prepared. And having that humanity in you, knowing how to talk to someone, and just being careful and that's very important.
Yeah, and you know, I think with Mr. Porter, he's the only character that isn't, woe is me, I
Right.
did something bad.
Exactly.
He's the only one that actually wants to take action to make it better. I think other characters are trying to, but they don't know what to do, and he at least kind of has a clear, this is what I need to do to fix it. And so he's trying.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to remind you, let you know, please go on iTunes and rate, review, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and let us know what you think of the after show. If you want anything that's different, if you enjoy anything that we're doing, this is the place to do it. So we give you this content for free, and we love, love, love giving it to you. So just do us a quick favor, go on there, rate and review, and we definitely read them and really, really appreciate it. Before we end this episode, we're going to go into a quick spoiler alert.
Uh-oh.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
You guys heard it here first. Okay, the first spoilery thing I wanted to talk about in this episode was the texting or the sexting situation between Hannah and somebody.
Right.
Because of later episodes, we've all watched them. Are we possibly assuming that this somebody was Zach? Was it the same summer? That's where my mind went immediately, and I feel like that's not where your guys' went. So I'm interested to hear what you thought.
Yeah, I did not think of Zach at all.
I know.
I felt like we left without even knowing who that person was.
Right.
That's how I felt.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I was like, okay, he has, I mean, did he really deserve to have a full tape? Like, I kind of felt like, I know he like messed up and everything, but I left on edge with Zach. And I think even he left on edge, like with season, because even this one, he's like walking around like, I still don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't know what to do.
Right.
Wasn't expecting Zach whatsoever.
No.
I liked that though.
Who
Right.
else? I mean, God, who else was there?
I don't know, man. It could, Marcus? No.
I mean,
Marcus.
Anybody else that was feeding her things to think that they cared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at that moment, she was, vulnerability has a way on people that, you can just react a certain way. And I didn't think it was Zach, but, there you
Now-
go. Exactly.
Let me know if anyone else thought that, because I felt very alone.
Was that the summer that Clay was gone?
No, well,
No.
he was there with her
He was
that
there.
night, actually.
Okay.
And he,
Yes.
was
Okay.
walked his bike
Got it.
with her home. We also need to talk about Tony this episode, which we didn't talk about yet.
That's my
Yeah,
favorite,
and
one of my favorite characters.
he's very paranoid. He burns the notes, the letters that Hannah wrote him, which even after I've watched the whole thing, I'm a little bit, he was just really worried about having to be brought back into the system,
Right.
I'm assuming.
Oh, of course, because
Yeah.
the note didn't lay out, this is exactly what I want you to do. So I feel like he was having second guesses on whether or not it's an assumption note. Like he was left to assume that he was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So it didn't really say, hey, give these tapes to the next person. It was just like, oh, I trust that you'll know what to do with
Right.
these.
Exactly.
What? So if I do the wrong thing, so like he put a lot of pressure on himself, because in a sense, all of this kind of
Yeah.
It
happened
started with him.
It started with him.
So that's why you guys think he burned the letter?
I think so for sure.
okay.
I think, like she said, not trapped in the system, but I think he was just trying to remove himself of all responsibility of this aftermath.
Got
like
it.
this. What
Okay,
about you?
I can see. I thought he was just burning it so that there's no trace leading up to him. Kind of like after, like seeing the letter. He was he given the deposition by then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was already given it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that could be it.
Well,
that could be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He already had points on him as well. So, yeah, I think that's definitely right on point there.
And lastly, we have Jessica with the doll that's left outside of her door, which is a doll that's hanging on a noose that says slut
Right.
written on it.
No, that's just the most. I mean, that's just a lot. Like, I don't know. And it's crazy what kids do, but it's just like, that takes like time, takes effort. So you really have to be trying to send a message. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Well, I mean, again, spoiler alert, guys. Are we trying to say this is Monty? Would he really? Is it?
Yes.
That's
Monty
he did
is
all
a-
of this by himself.
Right.
He's a cruel guy.
Right.
He's psycho for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's
And you know, I want to see what
He's evil.
I hopefully if I pray there's a season 3.
Yes.
I want to see his story because I'm not sure what's going on, but he is covering up Bryce a little too much.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's
yes.
going deep into coming up with all these
He
crazy
just
things.
looks like he's gonna snap one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just has that look in his eyes.
There's
Yeah.
definitely hurt somewhere.
It's
Something
hurt. Oh,
happened
yeah.
to
Something
him.
Well,
happened.
Traumatic.
Let's get into episode 2, which is Courtney's testimony. First, got to give a shout out to Courtney's dads. Love Courtney's dads. And
Yeah.
Courtney really is one of the characters that is the most, I think, resentful about her actions and how they played
Right.
in all of this. And we get, you know, another theory or story of the flashback that we saw last season, you know, which was Hannah did kiss her back a little bit more than she let on in her tapes because she felt bad, and Courtney basically came clean and said she had a crush on her. I really liked this part of the reveal because it could have been true. It made sense to me from last season. What did you guys think?
Oh yeah.
I really liked it. I think it showed another side of Hannah. Just her. I mean, even though she had, you know, may have had all these issues and things like that, but she still, you know, cared a lot, and even that she would do that, you know, with Courtney just to make her feel comfortable and make her feel herself. That was beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, from the first episode and that episode, I just felt like we were just constantly getting new revelations of just
Right.
how sweet Hannah is. And she has such a beautiful personality. So I'm glad we were able to realize that, oh, it wasn't her just kissing her for fun.
Exactly,
It was,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
for a
Wasn't
better
spin the
reason.
bottle or
Yeah.
anything.
Spin the bottle.
I know. It's like, this is real.
And I mean, the lawyer that's on the school side essentially forces this teenage girl, this high school girl, out of the closet on the stand, but Courtney did the right thing. It was a terrible thing for that woman to do. Horrendous.
I did not, and I know that her character was made for us to just despise her.
Right. Yeah.
Like everything that she said, even down to her when Tyler testified in her saying, didn't she? Paraphrasing, of course, but she was like, "Didn't she do this to herself? Didn't Hannah open herself up to all
Yeah.
that?"
I thought that was disgusting.
What? It's completely disgusting, and the
Yeah.
fact that she just forced Courtney to come out. I mean, should it happen? Yeah, but in someone else's own time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Can-
oh gosh.
I just wonder, you know, I'm sure Netflix, the creators behind this, did research, you know, to bring
yeah.
in, you know, some
Of
truth
course,
to this.
yeah.
But the fact that this school would hire, I get it, they're trying to win this, but to break down your students like that, hire someone that's just going to ridicule them.
A
it's
bully?
Just, a bully, a
a
legit
bully,
bully.
a legit bully for a lawyer.
Yeah.
And
Sad.
that's part of the problem with this whole thing is that the
Exactly.
school's trying to fix it by claiming innocence, and what they need to do if they really want to do their jobs is to say that they failed, like, you know, Mr. Porter is doing. Let's talk about Jessica and Chloe. Chloe was not in last season, or was she briefly? I don't believe she
remember
was.
her in last season.
Yeah, she's Bryce's new girlfriend.
Oh my gosh, she's annoying.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
God, the fake, it just radiated off of her.
I
And
was
I,
like,
in my
stop.
mind, like literally watching the show and my notes in my phone, I was like, do not like this type of girl. And I like put fake all over it. I just couldn't stand it.
It's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, oh God, I wrote something really mean, which I'm not going to read out loud. I can't even
But I
believe
will. No, I'm just joking.
I'll show you after. No, but she basically thinks the rumor that's been going around is that Jessica cheated on Justin with Bryce. Bryce did not rape her, and she's, I get it, girl. I mean, he's my man. I was like, oh my God, if there's rape, even if it's true or not true, involved with anything, don't talk about him being your man. It was just, oh man.
That's not even what tipped me over. That's really bad. The fact that she talking to someone that used to date your current significant other is it like it never even like it's like, oh hey, oh my God, how are you, how was your summer? Like that's never you don't know me,
Right.
you don't know my story, you don't know what we had. That's always
And she used like this hookup in the squad, cheerleading squad. Like she
Right.
put her as, what did she put her as? Something.
The
And
flyer.
The flyer. Like, oh, you know, just my little handout. Like, what is
Right.
that?
I don't need your handout.
Right.
First of all, I'm too tall and too big to be flying. That's what I thought.
But no, it's just sad that no one really believes Jessica. And, you know, you have the word of a jock, which, you know, this school is pretty much, I mean, a lot of high schools, unfortunately, are pretty much all around their sports education and athletic education programs. But, yeah, she's just, like, screaming for help, and no one hears her. And so her testimony, it was one of the saddest ones.
And it's the same, you know, it's the same thing that happened with Hannah kind of over and over again.
Exactly.
We have awesome stuff about Mr. Porter this episode. Him and the coach have this, you know, really, I loved the conversation. He goes, you got to give me a heads up, man, if you have any problem with any of my guys. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. I have a problem with all of your guys.
Right.
I loved it.
And the coach said that the athletes are victims in this school. And I mean,
It's like, come on.
yeah, like again, Mr. Porter through and through, man.
I
He
like
knows
him.
how to hold it up. And Sherry's back. Yay.
Yeah.
Sherry.
So she was away at juvie.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't make that super
They didn't make it clear.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't.
Because if you think of what happened last week, like she ran the stop sign down, but she left. So in my mind, I was just like, okay, what happened? I felt like there was a missing piece. So what?
Did she? I know she ended up calling last
Oh,
season.
yeah.
You know, reporting that.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Reporting a crime or something. I don't remember exactly what she said. So I wonder
still.
if that's why she went to juvie. Do you think?
I would
I
hope.
mean,
I think that's why I was
could be.
lost. Because like, did she go to juvie for that?
Yeah.
I think that's why I was like, okay, I'm missing a piece. But you know, maybe I do appreciate that she's back. I appreciate that she's kind of like the. I think she's a lot like Mr. Porter.
Yeah.
She
definitely.
realizes her mistakes. She realizes that she's trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
And I mean, she has street cred. Like she has street smarts and and book smarts. I mean, she's like a bad, in a good way, person to have on your team.
Oh, yeah, I love
like,
Sherry.
I have her on my team in a
Ride or
heartbeat.
die, ride or die.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, and it's what she was missing. She was such a goody two shoes sheltered girl
Yeah.
last season,
Right.
and
Right.
you know, now she's back. And also got to give a shout out to this new friendship that has blossomed, which is Tony and Mrs. Baker. I love that they're just chilling after
Right.
hours in the pharmacy talking
they
about
did
their
that last
lives.
season.
Yeah,
too.
I knew it was gonna get even stronger
Yeah.
between the
Yeah.
two for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, Olivia doesn't have a lot of people on her side right now, so you know, and plus Tony just helped a lot in the first season.
Yeah.
It was nice to see that relationship grow a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he just has guilt too? I'm sure he enjoys her company. I think they both miss Hannah greatly, so that's
yeah.
why they also want to spend a lot of time with each other.
You said you feel
But
like
his
he
guilt.
has guilt. Like, where's that guilt coming from? Because I'm still trying to figure out Tony. Like, why is he feeling this guilt?
Yeah, you know,
I think it's what I mentioned before, but
well, that he's
was that?
afraid of getting in trouble, or he thinks that he didn't do what Hannah wanted.
his guilt is because Hannah kept a secret that he is trying to protect the secret. He's trying to protect that one thing that other people don't know, and I think he's afraid that if he doesn't make the right steps, if he doesn't try to help someone, it's almost like he's forcing himself to help others to protect that one deep,
Right.
dark inside of him kind of secret. And again, he was the first person. It was literally
Exactly.
his duty to release these
Yeah.
tapes. And he has to, I mean, any person, I know that he said her truth should be known, but any person, once you do that and you see everything that unfold after, kind of
It's
makes you
crazy.
think like,
It's yeah.
oh, should I have done that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's again why he burnt the note. I think he was having second
Right.
thoughts.
Yeah,
He was just being,
makes sense.
being human. I mean, he's also in high school. And that's just a lot to give a person, you
Yeah.
know, just to
That's-
put on
yeah.
a person's shoulders. But, you know, he took on his responsibility. But, you know, being as loyal as he is, you know, he, you know, definitely worked as far as he could to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we have, you know, this mysterious love triangle again, which is Hannah, the dead girl, with Skye and Clay, who are alive. I don't know. I really want her to be a ghost. And I don't like that she's probably not a ghost.
Right.
You know,
I don't like it.
Someone in the chat mentioned that for a second they thought Clay was on drugs because, you know, not just with after a traumatic experience that you hallucinate when you're on drugs.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was kind of an interesting point.
That's an interesting point. Yeah,
I didn't
sure.
really think about that. So, so thank you for that.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Well, Skye is kind of continuing to become more and more unstable, which we see unfold, and she just goes over to his house when he's not there and is cooking dinner with his dad. She's in a very manic-y state.
I'm sorry. That would have been like, that's just too much. To show up, you know, and you're just cooking. Like, you invited yourself in the house. I mean, I don't know about you all, but it's kind of like, let me know if you're going to be in my house before I walk in and you're there. You know, I don't think that Skye had that relationship yet. You know, that relationship has not grown to that point yet where she can just invite herself into his house. But that was interesting.
At first, I thought, oh gosh, you poisoned my food. But I had to remember that when you're in that place, when you're not happy, that you're constantly searching for love or for the right person to make you happy. You're searching for happiness instead of creating it for your own. So I had to kind of take a step back because I thought so too. I was like, ooh, she's crazy.
But I knew where she was going. Yeah. It's there.
How about the handy under the table?
I thought that was extreme.
Oh,
that was very extreme.
That was so inappropriate.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this,
Not
Wedding
at the
Crashers?
table.
Have you guys ever seen Wedding Crashers?
I love Wedding Crashers.
I do too, but I'm like, what show is this? I'm confused.
Oh my God. And to be in high school.
I mean, you know what? I mean, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't that horrible.
Okay.
No, hold on. Says the only male.
The only male on the panel, right?
I know.
Come on.
It's like, oh, come on. No,
Come on, ladies. Let's.
No, like I said, it was. Hold on. It was the wrong. Wrong place, wrong time.
In front of mommy and daddy.
If she was like this with mommy and daddy, like, come on, like, you know, some stuff happened under the table.
And then they just run upstairs. Bye, guys. Dinner we're not hungry.
That was hella rude, though. I would have to the parents. Right?
Yeah, and so it doesn't work again. And
Right.
by it, you guys know what I mean. It Clay's. You know, okay. And
I don't know if that was my mom. First of all, who is this boy going in your room? And she would be right behind me.
Yeah, she
like,
would.
Excuse me.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
They took that very lightly. They're like,
Right.
okay.
It's like, okay, you guys have
kids.
fun.
I think they're just like, I'm just glad you don't look like you want to kill yourself right now.
Exactly.
Go
But
enjoy yourself.
I don't know about you, ladies, but like that relationship between the parents and Clay, like, just kind of bothers me. I mean, they just have too much of a like laissez-faire attitude, and you know, if they see something's bothering him and they try to ask, but their way of asking is just like kind of just nitpicking, and you know, but it's a certain way that you have to get to your kids, you know.
Welcome to my life.
Yes.
Sorry.
I have a Jewish mother, you know, that's the thing. Like, that's what they do.
Right.
And I'm allowed to say that because I'm Jewish. So.
Yeah. It's a reminder, too, that that laxed relationship is so common nowadays.
It is.
Yeah.
It is nowadays.
And it's almost like the parents are afraid of pushing their kids away. They're afraid of something that they might say might drive them to do something like suicide, and then that blame.
Right.
It's like walking on eggshells
It
nowadays.
is.
It's so difficult to be a parent, I'm sure.
It really is.
Well, Skye ends up in an ambulance after she leaves very upset. I'm assuming she crashed her bike. Purposefully, maybe, is what I'm not sure. I was a
that's
little.
not what I thought.
What did you think?
Yeah.
She was cutting herself and had an accident?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was
yeah,
cutting
I thought that
herself.
too.
I
Right.
thought she either cut herself or took pills all day.
Right.
Okay,
I thought
so-
it was definitely a suicide attempt.
Okay.
Yeah, because her mom said, you know, like usual. So,
Yeah.
which I'm like, that should never come
Yeah.
out of your mouth anyway. But you know, we got the point.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did like, it was something very small, but it was so meaningful, is when her mom said, she's not upset, she's ill.
Ill.
Yes.
Right. I like that too.
And I was like, kudos, like,
did
thank
like that.
you.
Yeah.
Because so many people think, oh, he or she is just having a bad day, or like this is a illness, and I think a lot of people forget.
Yeah. Oh, they're just teenagers. They're just depressed.
Yeah.
Like
This is not normal. Yeah.
it goes beyond that. On that note, guys, that wraps up the 2 episodes, but we're not done with you yet. We're going to start doing something where we are going to be featuring a different suicide prevention nonprofit or cause that we will give you guys some information about. This week's nonprofit is called SAVE, which is Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, and it was one of the nation's first organizations dedicated to the prevention of suicide, and their work is based on the foundation of belief that suicide is preventable and everyone has a role to play in preventing suicide through raising public awareness, educating communities, and equipping every person with the right tools they know that they can save lives. So if you guys want more information or if you want to get involved, go to www.save.org and find out more information. Especially after watching the show, I always kind of just want to get involved and help more with these kind of causes. So,
Also to that, what was cool about this organization is that leading up to the release of season 2, they released or put together 13 Reasons Why toolkit.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm seeing on their website, like, they brought together a group of, like, 75 leading experts in mental health and suicide prevention, and they pretty much put together a kit for, like, parents, educators, youth, media, about how to be able to have conversations around this after the show, and how to sort of pinpoint signs.
Exactly.
So it's really nice what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And on that note, though, we also have some news and gossip that we want to share with you.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I have some news and gossip here. So on Friday, May 18th, the second season premiered, and just 5.5 hours later, a gunman opened fire at Santa Fe High School outside of Houston, Texas, and killing 10 people. It was the deadliest shootout since February's massacre at Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. And so, as you all know, that in this season we have a spoiler shooting out in the school. So,
and their premiere, they canceled the premiere last week of 13 Reasons Why. Because of the shooting, which I think Netflix did the right thing there.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
It expresses their heart and their intent in this show. They're not just making a show just because it's popular and to get ratings. They truly care about the content that they're putting out and the people that they're affecting. So. So kudos to them.
I love it.
Yeah, I thought
amazing.
I thought it was nice. I at first thought that the reason why they were canceling the premiere was to sort of like divert the attention and be sure that everyone's kind of like focusing on the shooting and making sure like a conversation's happening around that. But it wasn't until after watching the full season that I realized, like, wow, they made a great decision.
They had to cut that off. And we also next week are going to start doing another segment where we are going to be asking you guys, or asking you right now, what are your reasons why not? If you've seen later in the season, that becomes a big part of it, what Hannah's reasons were. So either tweet at us or use the hashtag ABTV reasons why not. Why you want to stay alive, why you love life, the things to stay alive for. And we are going to share your thoughts next week. And Kami, you also had a couple ideas you want to put out there.
Feel free to be as creative as you like. If you want to write a letter, write it in a letter format, poetry. We really just want to be able to hear your reasons why not. And we're open to in however format that you like.
Yeah. And that covers it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And where can everyone find you on social media to tweet us those awesome why nots? Kami?
You can find me on Instagram at Kamisha Lauture and on Twitter at Kamisha Lauture.
All right, and you can find me, Takira Shabrae, on Instagram and Twitter at Takira_Shabrae. Getting ahead of myself.
And folks, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at I am Danny Royce.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram, and SamDavidsonEntertainment.com. We love talking about this show with you guys, and we can't wait to hear from you. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.